The woods are indeed lovely in this part of the world, the gorgeous state of Sikkim. And I'm here for Pang Lhabsol, which is essentially celebrated in the monasteries of this lovely Himalayan state. And this time, instead of checking into a hotel, I've come to what's known as a homestay, which is run by the locals, and it gives you an insight into their traditions, their customs, their food, essentially a window to their life. Just above the chicken neck that joins us to the northeast lies Sikkim. Historically speaking, this former kingdom was the last princely state to join India. Up until then, Sikkim was ruled by the Chogyals, who traced their ancestry to Tibet. Sikkim's other uniqueness is that it has 3 international borders that include China, Nepal and Bhutan. It is also one of India's least populated states, with a total head count of a mere 6,10,000 plus people. My journey to this beautiful state begins from the village of Selep, which is in the subdivision of Ravangla and is about 75 kilometers from the capital, Gangtok. It is my great fortune that I have the opportunity to stay around this house, which I'm told is 116 years old. It's a traditional Sikkimese house that's made from stone, clay and wood. Such houses are now a rare sight, as more and more people prefer modern accommodation to the traditional kind. My host Balkumari Rai explains how this house also acts as a larder for her family's needs, as much of their daily requirements are dried, pickled and stored in here. Ever the gracious host Balkumari sits me down for a steaming hot meal, which is made from stuff that is all grown in her farm and made with her own hands. And believe you me, this is a welcome change from eating out from packets, as we often do in big cities. The food in Sikkim is very basic, but it's a very unique kind of grains which they use in their everyday food. This, for example, is a roti. It's called a Phapad ka roti. And phapad is actually buckwheat. It's a kind of grain which is not found in the rest of India. It's only particular to Sikkim. The flour is ground, the buckwheat is ground and made into a paste, and then the paste is poured onto a hot tawa. And these pancakes come out of it, which look really amazing and smell even better. सेल रोटी ये मीठा होता है ना? जी मीठा होता है, इसमें थोड़ा वो चीनी होता है और मिल्क और घी लगा के. It's called a sail roti, but it's not actually a roti. It's a sweet dish. It's quite like a jalebi that we have up in the north, but it doesn't. It's not as crisp as a jalebi. It's just something which is made into a batter and then fried into a deep frying pan. Taste कैसा है सर इसका? Remarkable. बहुत अलग है इसका भी टेस्ट. थोड़ा जो बिहार में अनरसा होता है उसकी तरह इसका टेस्ट. Churpi is a kind of cheese, goat cheese है. Cow. Churpi is a kind of cheese which has been shredded and added to this saag, which is found in the jungle. Again, something for which one doesn't need to go very far. It's all available around in this area. ये beans लग रहा है मुझे. जी जी यही का local. Local beans. जी. The food in Sikkim is very basic. I've tasted food from all over the country, but the uniqueness of the food over here is just, it makes it quite apart from any kind of food anywhere else. There's a flavor of the Tibetan plateau, there's a flavor of the lower Himalayas, the plenty of vegetables that can be sown and grown over here is quite amply reflected in the everyday food of the people here. The Sikkimese people are really experts at making achar and pickle. ये bamboo shoot है शायद? जी 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 bamboo. और ये उसका बोलता है जो गोल गोल होता है बी सब्जी जो होता है ना वही है. Okay. मैं bamboo shoot pickle थोड़ा टेस्ट करना चाहूँगा. So the great thing about the bamboo shoot pickle is that the longer you keep it, in the jar, the better it will taste.
इसमें ना सर ये round chili जो यहाँ का बोलता है डल्ले खोर्सानी.
Oh gosh, oh, that round chili is really killer chili.
ये भी.
If you have it, then you will just go running for water.
लीजिए सर.
मैं chili नहीं खाऊंगा.
ठीक है.
But the pickle I would really like to taste. This is the bamboo shoot pickle. ये आपके ही garden का है?
जी, हमारा खेत का. थोड़ा तीखा है सर.
It's sharp. It has a sharp tang to it, but it's really, really nice and unique. The bamboo shoot has a flavor which is quite unlike any of the vegetables eaten up in the north of India. It's only particular to the northeast, and they really know how to cook it well. In this case, pickle it. The fact that the Chogyal rulers were mostly Buddhist is evident in the landscape of Sikkim, as prayer flags and monasteries dot its roads like landmarks and milestones. For a small state, Sikkim has over 75 monasteries. I'm advised by the locals to visit the nearby Doling Monastery because it has some remarkable stories attached to it. A senior Lama shows me around, and I'm specially captivated by the idol of a thousand-eyed goddess, which looks like it was just made yesterday. This part of Sikkim is full of monasteries where the faithfuls come and pay their respects to the teachings and the various Rinpoches who have been guardians of monasteries like this. This one particularly is called Doling Monastery, and there's a very curious tale behind it. There is a stone here which is believed that on a full moon night the stone shakes and trembles, or used to shake and tremble. Today it is set here just outside the monastery, and it's the guardian of this monastery. So the name of this monastery comes because of this huge massive stone which is believed to have come all the way from Tibet, and it's known as the Doling Monastery, which was established in the 17th century. I visit another historic monastery, this one's of the Bon faith, which, though outwardly resembling Buddhism, is said to be the faith of the Tibetan people before Guru Rinpoche brought the Buddha's message to Tibet. Also a monastic faith which has included Gautam Buddha in its pantheon, Bon followers also revere many spirit deities that were believed to be the guardians of the harsh Tibetan plateau. Originating in the heart of the Tibetan capital of Lhasa, this particular form of Buddhism is the principal faith of many people of the Himalayas, such as Ladakh, parts of Nepal, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh and Bhutan. That's perhaps why many Tibetans who fled after the Chinese occupation have settled in these parts. There's one such settlement in Ravangla, and it is known for its exquisite carpet weaving factory. This factory makes traditional Tibetan carpets that are used both for religious purposes as well as in homes. By generating livelihoods by training women in carpet making, the factory also ensures that this traditional craft remains alive. I try my hand at what looks like an easy job, only to realize how wrong and presumptuous I have been. इसके अंदर
फिर ये खींचना है.
ये खींचना है?
फिर टाइट होगा ना.
ओह, ओके.
जोर से हो गया.
जोर से हो गया.
थोड़ा लूज करना है, कोई बात नहीं. फिर ये रख दो. फिर ये.
ओके. फिर ये.
ऐसे करके. फिर ऐसे.
Carpet making is almost like a meditation because it's very intricate, and you have to do this repeatedly. And it gives you a sort of put you into a trance state where you're doing a repeated task, but you're also meditating. ये meditation की तरह है थोड़ा carpet बनाना. What is perhaps not as well known about this tiny state is that it is the producer of a fine tea. Temi Tea Garden is Sikkim's one and only tea garden. Spread over an area of 440 acres, the tea produced here can rival that of neighbouring Darjeeling. Tea here is grown organically, that is, without the use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers. The Sikkimese people love to do their own farming. Many hobbyist farmers can be found here who, despite their day jobs, find much pleasure in growing their own food, flowers and drink. I meet the Wangdis,
A couple whose farm is so self-sufficient that one would never need to go out for groceries. Only trouble is, you'd have to navigate the ups and downs of their amazingly fertile patch of land. Mrs. Wangdi gives me a tour of her farm, and I'm struck by the variety and abundance of fruit-bearing trees here.
This bamboo is the biggest bamboo I've seen ever. Is it something that is like indigenous to Sikkim, or it's like a rare species?
No, it's one of the rare species. It's not from Sikkim actually.
Okay.
And like we use this bamboo for fencing, and we eat this bamboo shoot. No, we make vegetable out of bamboo shoot, and the bamboo is like we use for churning our milk to make butter.
Okay, so you use a section of it
to make butter.
It's hollow anyway, so you just use that part of it and make butter
out of it.
You have a sort of museum of all the flora of Sikkim. Everything that grows in Sikkim grows in your garden. So what part of the elaichi comes out from this plant? Or where does the elaichi grow exactly?
It grows here at the bottom.
At the base?
So this is at the base. This is where you cut it, and it
grows in clusters.
Yeah, it's in a cone side of kind of a thing, fruit. So we have to take it one out. We have to, like, what do you call it?
It's a cluster, but in a conical shape. So you have to just separate those.
Yeah.
And how much does it yield in a year, the elaichi plant?
So it depends upon the land, no? So if it's 1 acre of land, I think it'll give you around 40 to 120 kgs of elaichi.
Wow, that's a lot. But what makes Sikkim so suitable for the elaichi? Is just,
I think the weather conditions is very good for this big elaichi in Sikkim. But this is the main cash crop.
This is the main cash crop, right?
Last time people paid around 60,000 rupees per 1 month, 40 kgs.
Wow. So it goes like, it's like gold.
Yeah. The name of this cardamom, especially this cardamom, is called Seremna. Seremna means black gold. So it gives lots of money. That's why it's black gold.
Wow. So Sikkim is also known for its orchids. In fact, it has some of the best known orchids in the country. And this is your own small orchidarium. I know this is not the flowering season.
Yeah.
It happens in November.
Yeah.
But why have you put them on these small blocks of wood?
I think the orchids actually, they don't need soil to grow. So these orchids actually, they grow on trees. So we shifted them here. So we put this block.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea. So because they grow on trees and you want to put them in the orchidarium, and instead of putting them around a tree, you have put blocks of wood. Is there any particular kind of tree on which they grow, or it just is wood?
I think it's birch tree that will be best for them to grow.
Okay. And when these flower, what kind of flowers would come out?
This is
what
blue
color?
orchid actually, blue vanda we call it.
Blue orchid.
So you can see the things coming.
Oh. And is it like a rare variety, or is it like a common variety of the orchid?
This is not very common.
This is not very common.
Rare.
Wow. Here is another thing which we are very used to having but not seeing in a tree form or in a plant form. It's coffee, right?
Coffee, yeah. But recently, like, people are interested in coffee, and we have started growing coffee.
Okay.
They say like you can grow, we can sell 4 lakhs of coffee in 1 acre of land. So if it fruits after the fruiting.
Having acquainted myself with the sights and sounds of Sikkim, I am eager to see how Pang Lhabsol is celebrated. So I head to Ravangla's biggest landmark, a Buddha statue that towers over everything else in the town. This 137 feet Buddha was completed in 2013. It is made of copper that is painted over. The area of the face is plated with gold. And it took around 3.5 kilos of gold to cover the face of this Buddha. It's not every day that one gets a chance to sit at the lotus feet of the Buddha. And in this case, quite literally so. This remarkable place was completed in 2013 after 7 years of work. It was dedicated to the nation by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. and today it stands as a beautiful landmark not just for the town of Ravangla but the entire state of Sikkim. The area around Ravangla's Buddha Park roughly measures 40 acres and it has today become a major attraction for people who come to this part of Sikkim. The raised platform below the Buddha idol is a 3-story structure whose inside walls are painted with stories from Gautam Buddha's life. Inside the statue is a giant cylindrical prayer wheel that has written on it thousands and thousands of sheets of prayers for world peace and the happiness of all humanity. It's not just the faithfuls who come here to the Buddha Park to experience its peace and serenity. It's general curiosity seekers and tourists who come here to also see and experience the beauty and serenity of this lovely, lovely garden. Pang Lhabsol is above all a community celebration, and so the event begins a day in advance with cultural performances and rural games. One that caught my attention was this one, where young men attempt to grab the prize money at the end of a pole that has been covered in grease. I have to say, in all the 5 hours I was there, I did not see a single person even get within 2 feet of the 1,000 rupees prize. In between the speeches, I also catch up with Mr. D.D. Bhutia, who as cabinet minister and MLA of this area has been instrumental in organizing Pang Lhabsol in Ravangla. Mr. Bhutia tells me that even though Pang Lhabsol is a Buddhist festival, it has today come to be known and celebrated as a festival of Sikkim that brings together all its ethnic groups such as the Lepchas, the Bhutias and the Nepalese.
ये हमारा पहला हम लोग सिक्किम एक देश था
जी।
जब 75 में सिक्किम भारत का एक अंग हो गया, उसके बाद ये पहला देश था तो उस समय हमारे पैलेस में मनाता था ये प्रोग्राम। वो जब भारत का एक राज्य हो गया, उसके बाद में वो पैलेस में छोड़ दिया। उसके बाद में हम लोग सोचा हमारा एक तो स्टेट डे है, कम से कम इसको हम लोग प्रिजर्वेशन करें और इसको बचा के रखें, इसीलिए हम लोग शुरू किया 1984 में।
तो जब पैलेस में मनाया जाता था और अब के समय में क्या बड़ा डिफरेंस है, क्या फ़र्क है?
थोड़ा अभी हम लोग ने मॉडर्नाइज कर दिया थोड़ा। ये हमारा कांचे जगह बोलता है, दूसरे समुदाय लोग कंचनजंगा बोलता है। ये इसको हम लोग एक गार्जियन डिटी के नाम से मानते थे। अभी हम लोग इसमें थोड़ा क्लब करके हमारा ओल्ड ट्रेडिशनल कल्चर, स्पोर्ट्स जैसे रूरल स्पोर्ट्स, इसको हम लोग प्रिजर्वेशन के लिए हम लोग इसको बचा के रखने के लिए हम लोग शुरू किया है।
Pang Lhabsol is a commemoration of Buddhism's arrival in Sikkim. It is believed that the great Guru Padmasambhav, who is also called Guru Rinpoche, brought Buddha's message to this land. And on his way to Tibet, he left the land in the guardianship of Kanchenjunga, the great mountain. This event is reenacted by dancers, most of whom are monks. To understand this dance better, I sneak into the green room of the dancers to get a feel of the basics of this legendary dance.
No, what is the cap called? Cap ko kya bolte? I'm just trying on this wonderful hat, which has 4 flags on it. It's rather heavy. Bari hai thoda.
bhari hai.
Huh? It's rather heavy, but these guys do a great job of balancing this huge helmet on their heads.
और इसको पर
Wow, I think I almost got it. My friend here, Karma Jigdel, is explaining to me the basic essentials of this chams dance. हाँ, आपने कितने दिन ट्रेनिंग किया है इसको करने के लिए?
मैंने करने के लिए इसको कितना इस साल तो मैंने कितना एक दिन किया है।
एक दिन ट्रेनिंग। और ये सब स्टेप्स का जो मतलब है वो थोड़ा सा बताओ। ये क्यों ऐसे करते हैं? ऐसे करके क्यों? लड़ाई का
मीन्स अब ऐसे करने से ना फिर ये निकालने से मियाँ चाकू होता है, ये निकालता है ना, फिर उसके बाद ये ऐसे करने से मारने है ये ना, इसको इसलिए फिर रुकता है।
ओह ओके। आप लामा भी हो ना?
जी।
आप लामा भी हो, तो इस डांस में लामास काफ़ी रहते हैं, लामा डांस करते हैं?
हाँ जी।
ये जो डांस है इसमें लामास भाग लेते हैं?
हाँ जी, लामास लेता है और ऐसे बाहर का यहाँ का कम्युनिटी लोग भी करता है।
ओके ओके। कितने लामा रहते हैं इस डांस में?
इस साल में हम लोग कितना है? 9 है।
9 लोग। So essentially this dance, originally this dance was performed only by the lamas, who are the priests or the monks in Tibetan Buddhism. But now mostly it's open to all who come here, especially locals who want to take part in the cham dance. And of course the lamas position is still there. So out of all the 13-14 dancers, lamas are in a majority. About 9 of them are lamas, right?
This year, the chief guest of the Pang Lhabsol celebrations was the Chief Minister Pawan Chamling, who has been in office since 1994, which is ample proof of his popularity as a leader. The cham dance is performed only by men. Originally, only monks were permitted to take part after rigorous training. But now, there's almost a 50-50 ratio of monks and laymen. The dance comprises steps that recollect the martial past of the monks, who as defenders of the faith as well as of the teachings, took on a fierceness not generally associated with monks. The weather, as you can see, is not perfect, but it's certainly not dimmed the enthusiasm of people who come here to watch this special dance, which is known as the Pangti Cham. It is one of the highlights of the Pang Lhabsol celebrations, and it commemorates the establishment of the Buddhist faith in the region of Sikkim, and also the establishment of Mount Kanchenjunga as the presiding deity, as the protector of the Sikkimese people. After the dance, I decide to check out the stalls selling traditional Sikkimese fare.
This is the biggest cucumber I've seen. Yeah. It must weigh at least 5 kgs. More than 5 kgs, huh? It's the biggest cucumber I've seen. This is from Sikkim?
Yeah.
Wow. But how do you tie the paper?
We used to fold and just...
you fold it and dip it in color?
Dip in the color.
Oh, that's how you get that effect. Do you dip it when the paper is wet?
No. Yeah, it will wet, but after dry it will... Okay. This fiber is very better than others. other hand.
कुकरी
शेप में डिफरेंट है, इसका शार्प, उसका पॉइंट है, इसका पॉइंट नहीं है। इसको किसके लिए इस्तेमाल करते हैं?
लकड़ी वकड़ी काटने के लिए। पहले तो वार में भी चलाते थे।
ऐसे पकड़ते हैं, ऐसे
वैसे
शार्प एज बाहर।
अभी भी तो गोल का रेजिमेंट भी है,
गोल का रेजिमेंट, उसका जो सिंबल है वही है।
Our journey to the mountains of Sikkim wraps up with the close of the Pang Lhabsol celebrations. It has been a wonderful experience meeting and learning about the culture and people of this amazing state. I'll catch you again with another amazing episode of the fabulous Fairs of India. Until then, I'll leave you to take in the breathtaking and virginal beauty of Sikkim.